Well, today's episode is going to be a little different. So today is all about ChocoPro. As you all may or may not have been aware of, ChocoPro had three new shows that just happened just recently. The first one is, of course, number 528, and then we have 529, and then finally 530. Now, however, there's a big typo if you guys see the posters of the matches. Uh, I don't know if they ever addressed that or anything, but it says 531, but it's actually 530. So sorry about that. I just decided because that's what it was, just to let you guys know ahead of time. And of course, as always, we'll wrap up our episode as usual with some news updates to give you guys updates on what's been happening in the world of wrestling, such as what events the promotions are thrown out, who's booked, what matches are set, including the developments that are happening in the world of wrestling as we speak. So, let's get ready with another episode of the Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Hey everyone, welcome to the Deleted Wrestle Zone. All things that is pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, TNA, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, J-Rod here. So, if you are new to the channel, welcome. This is a channel we do a lot of pro wrestling reviews from various promotions, not only here in the United States, but also in Japan, Mexico, Canada, Europe, the UK, anywhere pro wrestling is not as big, but it continues to grow. We also, of course, do discussion videos, talk about various topics such as the wrestlers themselves, the promotions, factions, storylines, whatever we want to talk about. We also, of course, do more news updates. If certain information was unable to be on this episode, we can either put it on the next one or on a separate video by itself. We also, of course, do some real-time news updates to keep you guys on alert if something has happened in the world of wrestling that needs to be addressed ASAP. We also, of course, got through Nike Sayaka Watch and various other cool wrestling content as well. So if you like what you see, please subscribe to us and click on our subscribe button. You'll be gaining a lot of daily reviews and other cool wrestling content as well. But if you like this episode, please give us a like on the like button or nice comments in the description down below. Now, enough of the jibber jabbers, let's get started. So as I said before, it's all about ChocoPro, so let's begin with number 528. Okay, ChocoPro number 528. This happened, of course, in Ichigaya Square. FYI, guys, all of their events that I'm going to be reviewing are all from Ichigaya Square, of course. This one happened, of course, on the 11th of June, but it was not uploaded on their YouTube channel until the 13th of June, of course. We opened up, as usual, with Balinaki greeting the fans, giving the info on what matches are going to be taking place, the whole thing. However, we opened up, of course, with the exhibition match. Is a 3-on-2 match. We have the rookies consisting of Waka, Rin, and Chiyu taking on, of course, Mei Suruga and Kaho Hiromi. So basically, it was a very interesting matchup. Now, obviously, I think some of you would say 3-on-2 is not fair. Well, you got to remember, guys, the rookies have the least experience, but they know what they need to do. But however, when it comes to Mei and Kaho, well, we all know Mei has more experience than both the three rookies and Kaho combined, of course, and that plays out pretty well as well. But however, it was Mei Suruga that was able to pick up the pinfall on to Rin with the Mahestral, I think, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. So May and Kaho picked up the win. Now, our first match, we have, uh, excuse me, something was in my mouth. We have Munetatsu Nakamura and Balin Aki teaming up, taking on a couple of guys are not from, of course, Japan. We have Sangre Azteca Jr. Many probably would figure out he's from, of course, um, from Mexico, and a guy named Miles uh, Karu. Don't know much about him, but it was an interesting matchup. Obviously, for those who follow, you probably would think, yeah, Nakamura and Balinaki will pick up the win. And I thought it was a pretty good, fun match. I mean, it was a good opener, but in the end, it was Balinaki that picked up the win by pinning Miles, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, over. Next up, we have Soy teaming up, of course, with the current Super Asian champion Miya Yatsuba. They take on the current tag team champions, of course, Chiko Shikawa and Sayaka. Now, obviously, there's many factors that can play out. Now, either Sayaka or Chi can pin Miya, and they can challenge her for the, of course, the Super Asian Championship, or the obviously Soy and Miya can pin either Chi or Sayaka. They can have an opportunity of the tag belts. That's always been those factors we noticed, but however, none of that factor didn't play out in this one whatsoever. I mean, I would have assumed either Chi or Sayaka would have loved to pin Miya in order to have a chance of the belt, but no. In the end, it was Chi that was able to pick up the win by pinning Soy, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, over. In our main event, we have Bingo uh, Yamanaga teaming up with Mei Shiruga. If you guys don't know who he is, he's a guy who has like a mask kind of like an apple. And they take on, of course, the ChocoPro's resident chefs, of course, Obi and Minoru Fujita. But the one thing, of course, that both Ringo and May, they need to be more worried about is the gong, because once that gong is in play and it's hit, yeah, that's gonna happen, and that always does. I mean, I think it played out maybe 2 or 3 times. I'm not sure, but there was an interesting moment where they were playing soccer in a very tight spot. I'm like, what the hell are you gonna do with the soccer ball? I mean, but I think they were trying to make things kind of a bit of funny. I'm not sure. But however, things didn't go well because it was Ringo who ended up on the wrong side of the Obi magic by Obi. And just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. Just like that. Now for Anjankin tournament, well, this one was a very fun one. It ended up with the finals being, of course, our general manager, Kizuki, and of course, Minoru Fujita. Now, Fujita and Kizuki have picked up the win, have won the Jonkin tournament before, but this time it was Kizuki that picked up the win, and just like that, she won the piece of chocolate, and that's how the show was over. I mean, it was real fun. I have to say, I did enjoy mostly all of them. Yeah, they were pretty fun, so I have to enjoy. So you guys should check it out on YouTube. So go right now. So right now we're done with this one with ChocoPro. Let's move on to the next one, which is number 429. Okay, as we continue with more ChocoPro, this is number 529, and it happened, of course, again in Ichigaya Square, as I want to remind everybody. It happened on the 16th of June. No, this one was not uploaded maybe a couple of days later. It happened exactly on that very same day that they released it, of course, on YouTube. So check it out. Once again, we have Balin Aki opening up the show, greeting the fans, and giving what is the matches of the day, of course. Now, once again, we opened up with an exhibition match. Now, you guys saw in the last one, we saw a 3-on-2 scenario. Now, this time, it's a bit more different now. It's a 2-on-1. So, basically, we have the rookies Chiyu and Rin teaming up, and they take on Mei Suruga. Now, obviously, many people can just say Mei won because she has a better experience. Obviously, you'll be right. I mean, yeah, it sounds like an unfair advantage because it's a 2-on-1. But however, you got to keep in mind the rookies still need a lot to learn. That's something that's always been a factor if you guys follow pro wrestling. But May was able to pick up the win by applying a double leg submission on both Rin and Chiyu. Basically like a leg lock, but with each leg, Rin with her um, left leg and Chiyu with the right. And of course, they had to tap out, which was over. Obviously, it was going to be like this. Now, our next match, we have Balian Aki taking a guy named Shaheen, someone that he knows pretty well. He might have heard. He talked about him like he's from Dubai, and he always wanted to wrestle him, and he was able to get him down here, and they book him for this match. Don't know much about him, but he seems like a very solid dude, and the match was impressive. I mean, sure, I don't know who Shaheen is, but it's great to see that pro wrestling spreads around like a universal language, And Shaheen did a pretty good job, but unfortunately, he got face planted by Balinaki down on the mat, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. And then he posted out. Then he had a post-match promo, Shaheen, thanking the fans for supporting him and thank you for cheering for him. And he said that he loves Japan and he said he loves chocolate. So everybody were happy to hear that from him. Now our next match, we have the current Asian Dream Tag Team Champions Chi Koshikawa and Sayaka. They take on So What? Shonshiru and our current Super Asian Champion Miya Yatsuba. Now, obviously, Miya has already faced off these two before, but now she teams up with Shonshiru. Obviously, we know he's a former champion in both tags and the Super Asian Championship. And obviously, the same rules apply. I mean, Shon or Miya can pin Chi or Sayaka, or Chi and Sayaka pin Miya in order to get an opportunity for their championships, and that's always been the case. And I thought that someone was going to walk out as the winner, but unfortunately, time ran out when we hit the 15 time and limit draw, and just like that, it was over. Nobody wins, nobody loses. Now, of course, in the U.S., we don't take that kindly, but over there, in Japan, it's not a big deal. Now, our main event, we have Soy teaming up with Monotatsu Nakamura, and they take on Sayaka Obihiro and Mei Suruga. Obviously, we don't know how this was going to be. Yes, but this time the gong did not in play, because whenever that happens, that's when she teams up with Minoru Fujita. But one thing we know is that we have to be more careful with Mei, because she's a bit of a sly person. She likes to play a little bit of dirty, even if the referee tells her, no, you can't do that. But she is who she is. But unfortunately, things didn't go according to plan, because somehow Soy was able to counter the Obi magic and pin Obi, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. And May was like, what? What just happened? Like, she thought that they won because, they had the better experience. But no, Soy was able to pull it off, and she did. So it was a big upset right there in some ways. Now for our Jonkin tournament, this one turned out very impressive. These two ladies who've been friends and tag partners ended up in the finals. Miya Yatsuba and Soy. Obviously, we know both of them have won the Jonkin tournament before, but this time it was Miya who won, and Soy was the runner-up. So Miya picked up the chocolate and won, and just like that, it was over. So that's pretty much it for this one with ChocoPro number 529. Let's move on with 530. Okay, our final review from ChocoPro number 530. Now, if you guys saw the posters, of course, of the matches that were set for this, it says 531. I did notice it because I was wondering, because in the back of my mind I was thinking, was it 5:30 a big show? And I looked it up. No, it's not. The next show is supposed to be 5:31. I don't know if there was some sort of typo or something. I'm surprised that even ChocoPro didn't even address it. I don't know if any fans even noticed, but yeah, it was kind of interesting. But yeah, so keep that in mind, guys. It's 5:30 on this one, and of course, this event happened just recently on the 21st of June, um, in Ichigai Square as always. And once again, Balanaki did his usual opening up the show, greeting the fans, and not to mention what's going to be on the card, of course, of this show. However, there was no exhibition match whatsoever on this one because it was kind of weird, and I'm like wondering maybe because either the rookies, since they're young, they're still in school or something. I'm not sure, but that's how things are. But anyway, we opened up with Kaho Hiromi taking on Shon Shiru, and I have to say this was a pretty good match. And I have to say, I have seen Kaho how much she has grown. I mean, she has the look of a child who's really just wants to have a bit of fun. But whenever she's ready to take on someone serious like Chon, that's when she tries to be all serious. But of course, she can do her childish ways when it's necessary. But when it comes to being serious, she took it very to heart. And I thought it was a pretty good concept. But however, that did not work in her favor because Chon Chiru pinned her, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. So Chon Chiru picked up the win. Now, our next match, we have Sayaka Obihiro teaming up with whoa, Back Communications. Yep, the founder of Gambari Pro Wrestling, Ken Oka, and this time they take on Shiko Shikawa and Mei Shuga. Now, obviously, we know that Obi and Shi have teamed up in the past. They were tag team champions together. And of course, Ken cannot stand Mei a lot because he made fun of him about a year or two ago. If you guys don't know what I'm referring to, she actually goes like, whoa, a big apple. And Ken did not take that kindly of her. And of course, he had to mock her a few times, dressed up like May. But I thought it was a very interesting match. And of course, obviously nothing too special. Now, I don't know if the alignment with Chi being by herself as one half of the tag team champions plays out. But no, this time Chi was the one who picked up the win when she defeated Obi, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was done. Now, our next match, we have Munetatsu Nakamura teaming up with Soy once again, and this time they take on Balanaki and, of course, the Super Agent Champion, Miya Yatsuba. And I thought it was a good intensified match because, of course, obviously they will want both Nakamura and Soy will love nothing more to pin Mia in hopes of hopefully challenging her for the Super Asian Championship. And Mia, of course, she is a strong individual. But however, in the end, it was Balanaki that picked up the win by pinning Nakamura. And just like that, 1, 2, 3, done. Now for our Junkin tournament, well, this one was a very interesting one with the finals. It turned out to be Kaho Hiromi and Mei Shuga. Obviously, people would say that Kaho is like a little sister to Mei, and Mei and Kaho are almost the same. But the real question is who's walking out. Well, I wasn't too sure because I know that little slide devil would love nothing more to humiliate Kaho if she won. But however, the tables were turned right in front of her and she just lost. So Kaho picked up the win. And I thought it was a very good moment for her. And that's how things end with ChocoPro. Now, we will have, of course, the next big show from ChocoPro very soon, which is the actual 531. So, I don't know when will that be uploaded, but hopefully soon. I'm just waiting for it until it comes out. We'll see what happens. But right now, let's wrap up our episode with some news updates. Okay, so welcome to our news updates. So this is going to be a very different one. For our upcoming events, there's only 2 updates on that. The first one is from Produce, of course. As you know, they'll have their second show in next month, Volume 2, Taiga Style, on July 16th. They just announced that the Revolver World Championship will be on the line. Mance Warner, the current champion, will be defending it against Mad Dog Connolly. So that's going to be a very interesting matchup. And then, of course, as you know, we have the collaboration with Spark Yoshi Puroresu of America, teaming up with Pro Wrestling Magic, and the event's called Nothing Else Matters. It'll take place on the um, 17th of July. However, they did announce that the Spark Yoshi World Championship was on the line. The current champion, Azuki from Stardom, will be defending it against Danny Moe. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Now, that's pretty much it for upcoming events. Let's move on to our developments. We want to give prayers to Joe Doering. As you all know, Joe Doering has been well recognized in All Japan Pro Wrestling and TNA. We haven't seen him recently due to the fact that he's been having serious brain injuries or problems or cancers or whatever, tumors that he's been dealing with. Wrestling Observer, of course, reports that now he's in hospice care. It's very sad to hear about this. I thought he would pull through, but now it seems like things are probably getting worse. But I don't want nothing to bad happen to him. But we all should give our thoughts and prayers to Joe Doering. I mean, I'm sure he's a survivor, but hopefully things work out great for him. Just pray for guys for him. He needs it. Now, recently, Wrestling Observer talked about TNA. Apparently, it's a very interesting topic, saying how TNA has lost a lot of money and Anthem could be looking to make their money back. And this is what they said. TNA's lost a lot of money, and I guess the Aspers they want to sell as make their money back. Basically, WWE can get it anytime they want, but I don't know. WWE, they usually don't want to spend a lot of money to buy companies. They want to get TNA, but I don't expect them to pay big money to get TNA. I'm not exactly what the way the contract works out. I don't know if they could sell to someone other than WWE. WWE certainly will have the rights of refusal on the deal. So there's a lot of interesting things going around. So basically, yeah, we know that there's been some situations going on within TNA recently internally. But if they have lost a lot of money, yeah, that's going to be a problem, like trying to get their money back. I mean, Anthem who owns them. But I don't know if WWE are willing to buy them. That's the thing. I know that in the past they were trying to sell it to Tony Khan, but they didn't go through because it happened because of AEW, that sort of thing. So we'll see. Mike Santana was on the McGuire show talking about how thankful he is with TNA for the past 2 years and address his future. And this is what he posted out. Said, I am thankful for the opportunity that TNA gave me the last 2 years. As far as being able to reinvent myself and rebuild myself, just looking back on these last 2 years, I've been able to accomplish a lot of things and do a lot of great things. I don't take it for granted, and being part of why the company is where it is today, and having this new TV deal and all this stuff, and just being on the forefront of that, it feels great. It is something that I take very seriously. As far as the future goes, I am the type that growth is part of my life, and I feel like there's opportunity for me to grow. Then that's what I'm gonna do, whether it's in TNA or whether anywhere. For me, if you're not gonna grow, if you're not growing in this business, then what are you doing? If you're not trying to progress in the business, then what are you doing? And the end of the day, like, I need to show my daughter that there's levels of this, and also my dad, who used to always say that the top of one mountain is the bottom of another. So keep climbing, keep climbing. So yeah, so basically he is very grateful for the opportunities. And as for the future, he will continue to grow. And I know there's been a lot of talk about people saying that the possibility that he could go, of course, to WWE, because we know there's been talks about they have an interest in him. But we'll see what happens. We'll just wait and see on the waiting game on this one. Now, Swerve Strickland says the relationship between TNA and AEW and New Japan is an interesting place right now, and this is what he said, and this was on Forbes. I think it is interesting place right now because I think New Japan is an interesting place. They're still trying to find their new stars, their talents that take them into the next generation. AEW is a place where all stars trying to rise to the top. Kevin Knight found his own. Kyle Fletcher is finding his own. Bandito is stepping into his own. Now you have Takeshita finally besting Okada, and that was a former New Japan legend over there, and all these guys are stepping into their own. It's like all these guys have to be showcased how it is in a certain way. We have seen how much these guys have grown. I mean, yeah. I mean, we know Kevin Knight was one of the last students of Shibata before Shibata went full time with AEW, that sort of thing, and everything. Yeah, so there's a lot of growth. Now, on Busted Open Radio, Bully Ray had some things to say about the Death Riders. More specifically, Jon Moxley said that he would beat the crap out of them. And this is what he said, guys. I don't know what you would make of it. The Death Riders have not helped AEW in any way, shape, or form. The Death Riders are Jon Moxley playing out his pro wrestling fantasies because he's got Tony's ear, because he wants to be Terry Funk. I will kick the S out of Jon Moxley. Ray added the Death Rider members Claudio Castagnoli, who posed a different challenge, could certainly handle Moxley. But Moxley can beat the living S out of him. Fraud. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, we know Bully Ray has his own opinions about everything. I don't know what Jon Moxley would make of this. We haven't heard anything in his response. If there is, we're gonna have definitely a bit of a shouting match between these two on social media or so, but we'll see. But as of right now, we are done with everything with our reviews and updates, so let's just call it a day. Well, I hope everybody enjoys this episode. Coming up, I made a decision that I'm going to be doing a one review episode only because it's NXT. The reason is this, well, something come up and I'll be able to do NXT afterwards, so we'll just see how that plays out too. So that's pretty much the idea of what I'm going to be doing for the next episode, but we will do some news updates, and I'll definitely add on this one, of course, updates for the WrestleCon event. As you know, it'll happen by the end of July, early August, that sort of thing. I will do that too, so I already made plans for that. The thing is, my errands that I'll be doing is kind of be strained a bit, so that's why I'm sticking to the one review episode. Now, of course, I want to apologize for those if you guys saw that one of the shows for Go to ChocoPro is number 531. I don't know if there was a typo, but it says 530 on the entire thing. I don't know what exactly happened, but it is what it is. But as of right now, we'll leave things as it is, and I'll see you guys in the next DWZ time, same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So, goodbye, and have a nice day. Bang.